Okay, hello everybody. A lot of you ask a lot about how to format a scientific journal article for publication. So I'm just going to show you this video that what comes into having a journal article published in a reputable journal. Uh, so basically, the first thing first, you don't need to worry about this heading because that's what the editorial office will take care of after the peer review process, which is, the peer review process itself is something that adds to the reputation of the journal, meaning that there are several highly educated reviewers that would assess the scientific content of your article and not the visual aspect. So visual aspect is most often related to the editor, who is going to put these headers and everything, the formatting, the paragraph font size and everything suitable and in a consistent way with the scope of the journal. So yeah, so start with the title. There's a title. You have to put the title of your article here, the name of the authors. The authors list come afterwards. You have to put the affiliations after you put the authors list, and while you were writing the article with your um, with the co-authors or the other authors, other writers, you usually choose one of you guys as a corresponding author, who the editorial office and also the future readers will be able to contact them regarding this article if they have some ideas about your article. If they want to come up with a collaboration idea, they can contact you directly after you put your address in this format. Then you will start with an abstract. In an abstract, you will briefly, that's, you can put it in a way that you would say it's a summary of your um, article. So you mention what you have done, what is going to be done, what is going to be achieved, what the audience is going to expect, and also the methodology, maybe a brief description about the results, and that should be all about the abstract. Just read a couple of articles, or basically you will have to do a literature review before publication, and then you will see how the abstract is um, structured. But I just gave you everything that you need to consider for writing the abstract. This line is not so much important for yourself because the editorial office will put that in your article to be able to be tracked by the scientific databases and other robots that are tracking the internet to extract the data. The keywords are going to give the reader, the editor, the reviewer, and a snapshot about what's going on in this article. Then you will start with an introduction. So you completed the abstract, you put the keywords. These headings are super important. You have to consistently abide with these headings. So you push your literature review in this introduction. The background of the research is going to be placed in this section. Whatever you've read, whatever that is going to be relevant to the discussion chapter is going to be placed here. Then you can start with a discussion part, which is most probably depends on the methodology that you will choose, but for this case it was a bibliometric analysis. So we run a data like data mining in the Web of Science database to extract several articles. So in that case 24,000 articles since for a period of 2009 and 2019 were extracted, and analyzed by a software called VOS Viewer. Anyways, it's just the matter of this article. You might be using some other methodologies such as like experimental tests or running some softwares to get some results. Depends on the type of the article you're using. So, but what is important is that you put the discussion after the introduction. Okay, what you have done, how have you done it, and um, following that, after you've represented the results, you can come up with a conclusion to say that the results from the discussion can be briefly explained into that section, conclusion. And it depends on the journal, but most of the reputable journals would ask you to put an acknowledgement to like appreciate what has been done and who had helped the progress of this research, the article that you're putting forward for publication. Conflict of interest is a statement that states like there is no conflict in the future, or there is no potential for a conflict in the future after this publication. There are no financial affiliation, maybe, if that article is designed to be as such, or if there is a financial affiliation, you can just put it in the acknowledgement, like if you've received any support from an organization, from an institution, that are going to be placed in an acknowledgement. The reference list is the most important part, because all your citations comes from this. And so I will suggest you to use EndNote for referencing. And what else do we need to know is that before you would send your article for publication, make sure to have an ORCID ID set up like this. So you just have to Google ORCID ID and then register for your ORCID ID, because the journal, the publication will ask you to provide them with the ORCID ID. And also another thing that is important is to have your Google Scholar account set up. So that's where actually your citations can be displayed after the publication. So yeah, that was all. If you had any other question, make sure to contact the Institute of Construction Materials regarding the publication, as they have a reputable journal that accepts your article for publication. All the information is available at their website. Make sure to check out.